Ladies and gentlemen, it is your Cavs encapsulated crew coming at you with coverage of the 2022 NBA Draft. I'm Jeffrey. Justin is in the top right corner, and Logan is down below. Haven't uploaded in a while, haven't been live in a while. Little dead area, dead zone of Cleveland sports. We haven't forgot about the Guardians. I'm in talks with people to bring them in. Comment down below if you want to see Guardians, put it in the chat, whatever. Tonight, we're doing Cavs basketball. We know the top three are going to be maybe highly contested. There might be some interesting movements at the top. Banchero seems like is the likely to go number one overall. But we don't care. We're here for 14, and obviously the board falls how the board falls. We're going to talk prospects. We're going to talk wants. We're going to talk potential needs. We're going to talk crazy blockbuster trades. And we're going to talk to Justin. How's it going, buddy?
I'm doing great. Draft day is always a really interesting day. Obviously, Jeff and I know that pretty well, covering the Browns for the past two drafts and, covering the Cavs for the past three since Isaac Okoro was drafted. So, a really good day. Hopefully the lowest that we've drafted since we started this. So, or the highest, I don't know what you want to call it. I always, whenever they talk about like one being the low or being the high, it's always – whatever. But yeah, it's going to be interesting. Like Jeff said, the board is going to fall how it falls. And the Cavs have made some moves already today. Nothing significant when you look at it right now, but could develop into something much bigger later on. So it'll be interesting.
And we're going over to Logan. Logan, what's up? I'm so excited for tonight, boys. I really am.
Draft day. It doesn't get much better. I mean, it's one of those things in sports that I think you get just about as much viewership as you do, a playoff game sometimes. I mean, it's an exciting future. The NBA seems to get better year by year. And what was once a class of, young guys that I didn't really know of, I've suddenly gotten more interested, especially knowing the trade talks are going around. And honestly, I think to me, draft day has always been about the trades a lot for me is what's the small move that's going to make a big difference for teams? And you talked about a lull that we had, Jeff, as far as us uploading. That lull was the playoffs. The Cavaliers should have been
in. The playoffs that take forever.
And the hope is that we don't have a lull next year because tonight is a night that we make a move that could potentially take us to that next level. So I'm really excited to follow Agent Morjanowski here.
That's exactly what we're going to do. So I think that people, if you follow the channel, you might be confused. Like, why haven't we uploaded anything? Why haven't we gone over prospects and some other highlights, some of their game? And really, not that we didn't want to, it's just that it's difficult. When you're in the top, last year's draft, it's it's underrated being in the top five. It really is. As far as obviously the season before wasn't anything to write home about, but last year it was Mobley or bust for me. Basically was the consensus. And if Mobley was taken, you were getting Jalen Green. So that was a very simple draft. Now, like Logan just said, with the trades, whatever, we could have talked about Tari Eason. We could have talked about Dang. Relation? Is he related to the other Dangs? Does
that's what no, he doesn't.
I don't think so.
He doesn't look anything like him. I'll just say that much.
Okay. So yeah, we could have talked about those guys, but really, as me and Justin have, we never claim to be experts at this. We're just people with opinions. It really develops within like 24 hours. There were names 48 hours ago that we didn't even know that the Cavs, were thinking about them. Who knows what's going to happen at 14? It's really middle of the pack. You never really know what's going on. Justin, do you have a favorite? Do you have any input? Let's just get it out. Let's just tear the Band-Aid off with early predictions.
Yeah. So like Logan said, when we did our last video, which was kind of covering the draft a little bit and trying to talk about prospects, we didn't really have a good grasp on certain prospects and whatnot. And since then, I feel like I've been pretty well informed about a lot of different guys and what they're capable of and what they might end up doing for a team like the Cavs. For me personally, and we've talked about it in text messages and DMs and whatnot, this team is pretty much set with 9 to 10 guys in my mind that are already on the roster. And I'm keeping Colin Sexton out of it right now. And when I say that, 9 to 10 guys, damn. So you got your starting lineup that we ended with last year, which was Garland, LeVert, Markkanen, Mobley, Allen, and then you brought Okoro off the bench, Kevin Love off the bench. And then you get into the guys that are, during the regular season going to see a good portion of minutes, which are Dean Wade, who got exercised for his 4th year, Lamar Stevens, who I feel like we, Cavs in general lose a little bit of when you're talking about this team, lose a little bit in following him. So there's 9 guys right there. We have yet to draft anyone. We have yet to sign anyone. Colin Sexton, obviously a name that I'm sure we'll talk about later on. Ricky Rubio, and, maybe I'm missing someone that I should have said. But as of right now, we're pretty set. And to think at 14 a guy will step in and be a big contributor is a stretch in my mind. And that's why I've kind of gone into the direction of, hey, let's take a swing on someone at 14. If we are picking at 14, let's take a swing. Let's go after someone who has big potential. And I know that Jeff hammered it in our DMs about, work in progress guys. Like, do we have the time for that now? Is there a real viability for that? I think there is. When you get a plug and play guy, is that going to push you over the top? I don't think so. Not in my mind. So why not go for that big home run guy? Dang, I don't know how to say his first name. Like Usman. It's not Osman because it's not like Chetty, but I'm going to go with Usman. Hopefully, depending if we draft him or not, we'll learn to say it better. But
we'll get pronunciations. We'll be fine.
Yeah. He's a 6'9", 6'10" dude from, I believe, France. He's originally from France, I think.
International, yes.
He's an international player. And from what I've seen of him, he plays like a guard. And I know that's not, the greatest thing to ask for a 3. I don't think he's going to be Kevin Durant. But when I looked up his draft profile and I looked up another international player's draft profile, they were identical, very identical. And that other player was Giannis Antetokounmpo, who everyone knows. And straight up, both of their draft profiles were Nicholas Batum. They both couldn't shoot very well, but they both had very lanky size and abilities to dribble the ball and to take the ball and do some great playmaking things. So for me, that's where I'm sitting. I'm not going to be like too over the top upset or too over the top excited for anyone if, that's not the pick, but it is what it is. 14. Again, it's one of those things where you're like, are we really going to get someone who's going to contribute a huge amount right away?
Right. We got some chatters coming in. So we're going to go. Logan, I want to hear your input. 100. We have Mr. Ginther in the chat.
He gets it.
Or Mrs. I'm not certain.
Yes.
Kirsten, sorry. If you're a Mrs. If you're a Mrs., cool, because you might be our only female fan. If you're a Mr., sorry. Need to land DeJounte. Totally agree.
Agreed.
That's been me from the trade deadline, though. So first comment.
I thought it was unrealistic at one time, and now here we are.
Shout out to you. We got Fulam, the resident, Cleveland Paul's resident statistician in the chat. Kings trade earlier. We stockpiling picks to package. What do we need 49 for? Justin sends me this tweet, or maybe Logan, whoever sent it. I said the same thing. I said, here we go. I'm here for the youth movement. People get it a little confused. I'm here for the youth movement to an extent. What do we need 14 and 49 for? 49 is going to be better than Lamar. 49 is going to be better than Dean Wade, who we just exercised. 49 is going to be better than – is 14 even going to be better than Lamar? These are the questions I have. Team longer. Can we trade our first rounder and Mobley for LeBron? So here's the thing about this. Team longer, I know you want LeBron back. That's fine. Here's the thing.
I ain't trading Mobley.
Let's keep Mobley. Trade the first with a different package for another superstar, Zach LaVine, Bradley Beal, DeJounte Murray, Kevin Durant, etc. Then you have a more attractive landing spot for LeBron next offseason when he's a free agent.
Just a quick heads up. Adrian Wojnarowski is currently 2 picks ahead.
Okay,
Paolo Banchero is just selected, and Chet Holmgren's going number 2, apparently.
Okay, perfect. Now Logan's perfect segue into what you want to say. We're ready to hear.
I think at 14, it's a plug-and-play guy. There's a lot less pressure with this pick. This guy doesn't need to be a starter. This guy just has to do the things that we need to do better. Right now, that's shoot the ball, that's play defense on the perimeter. Because last year, we would funnel a lot of the offenses into Mobley and Allen. And that isn't sustainable. It's certainly effective. Is it sustainable? That's the question. I like a guy like Malachi Branham. I kind of like the Dane guy. O'Shea Agbaji.
That's probably pretty good. O'Shea, we could just call him O'Shea.
I like him as, again, just a guy that I think could fit our style. But the problem is he's 6'5", he's a guard. So that pretty much guarantees he's likely coming off our bench unless you want to start in the backcourt, depending on Sexton's situation. I don't think he's quite there as a shot creator quite yet, but he's got that defensive dog mentality, which I really, really appreciate. And he's only gotten better from 3-point shooting over his tenure at Kansas. I think if there's a guy I'd look at 14, it's probably him. But in my God honest, estimation, my God honest truth, I'm with you. I'm with everybody. The youth movement. Yeah, we got a lot of youth, guys. I mean, we got a ton. Mobley, Garland, Sexton. You still have Allen, who's still young. You have Isaac Okoro. I mean, like, at some point you just say, okay, these are the 3 young pieces. Now let's surround them with the veterans, with the guys that are going to make a difference on this team. I think that has to start tonight.
Here's what, and you can't look at the NBA offseason in a vacuum. Would it be nice to get a player who could make a huge impact and say, okay, we're going to have him for 4 years on the cheapest we're ever going to get him, and then we'll work him down the line? I understand. I do. But when you don't have a lot of veterans, who on this team doesn't need – I'm gonna use this, I think, probably more. I'm going to start calling them ugly offensive possessions. Logan, do you know what I'm referring to when I say that?
Like when you give it to J.R. Smith to make a 3 at the shot clock horn?
No. Like, think about the ugliest offensive possessions this roster had this last season.
Oh, okay. All right.
But you're hoping that people learn during that. So the only person who doesn't need reps on this team is Kevin Love. Jared Allen needs reps. I need Mobley to have the ball in ugly situations all year long again, because that's the only way he's going to develop. That's the only way he's going to all NBA MVP candidate levels on both sides of the floor. Same way with Garland. Do we think Garland has reached his ceiling? I see people on Twitter saying Garland has reached his absolute ceiling. Said you're not watching the game, or you don't care, or you're just tweeting. Your thumbs are just going. Think before you thumbs. It's fine.
Think before you thumbs.
But Jeremy, what's up? Sorry, I'm in a little tirade, but Jeremy, how's it going? Oh, nice profile picture. What kind of animal is that? Drop it in the chat after you hit the like button. Everything's going well.
I don't want to say it and sound stupid, so I'm not going to
monkey?
guess.
It looks like a monkey.
That's what I was thinking.
It's a monkey.
DF,
let's go, boys.
DF, we'll link up for Browns talk here shortly. Don't worry, we haven't forgot about the Browns.
Yo, just going back to Jeremy. Listen, we have so much time. I don't want to derail anyone, but talking about Jeremy's picture, dude, monkeys are awesome. I went to South Africa when I was like in 6th grade or something, and dude, I had monkeys like crawling all over me and everything.
That's actually dope.
Dude, my mom has like a video of this one monkey named Poppy or something. That's what I'm saying. Like, we can get on.
I would have put all my money on Justin being the one of us 3 that would be the first person to get off topic of the draft.
Of course.
And I'm very glad you did.
Dude, we've been gone for 2 weeks. I haven't seen you guys in forever.
I know, we haven't even caught up. We're just
we barely talked like
into this.
10 minutes into this. Jeff's moved. If people don't know, Jeff's going to be a married man in like a year or so now.
Correct.
The man's
Lots
made moves. Logan's going some places.
Doing
I
some
might be
things.
going some places. We're having a damn good time.
We're getting Logan in before he's got to travel. We're fine.
I'm going to San Francisco tomorrow. I'm sure Oakland's still buzzing from the championship win.
Oh God!
By the way, can we talk about that for a second? This is the first time I'm going to give the Warriors credit for a championship.
I'm not.
I am. Dude, I hate him, but I can give him respect where it's due. 2015.
I can if media was level-headed, I could, but I don't need it. Okay.
12 minutes is what it took for them to say Steph Curry might just be the GOAT. Shut the hell up. Listen, Steph Curry's fantastic. A lemur. That's dope.
2015. 2015.
First loss to Warriors.
2016.
Did you have to add that? Come on, Jeremy.
This is what I'm saying too from Mike. Andrew Wiggins. It's like, cool with Curry. Like, okay, now he has the same resume as Iguodala. Let's take all the threes away in the same resume. 4 rings, 1 Finals MVP. That's fine.
I mean, 2 MVPs also.
1 Veld ring, Yeah.
One valid ring. That's what I'm saying. This is his first valid ring. 2015, Kyrie and
if you
Kevin
don't like
Love.
Durant, if you're a
Durant
hater, I get why you wanted the Warriors to win. I'm indifferent with Durant, and until the finals, believe it or not, I didn't hate anyone on Boston, and then Tatum started to get on my nerves a little bit.
Yeah, that was the first Boston team I also didn't hate. Like,
I didn't hate anyone on that team. I don't care if Jaylen Brown gets a ring. Like, Curry has his 4th ring now. Like, oh my gosh, I have to hear about it after the draft now. I mean, that's
he's on the Mount Rushmore.
That's the good part about the finals. They're so like not really watched anymore because all the series are boring and like it's pretty, it's not fun. So it's like, oh, they talk about Curry for like 5 minutes and then it's like, okay, now we're, the NFL offseason is arguably higher rated than the NBA finals.
Oh yeah,
simple, especially this year. I mean, have you been living under a rock?
The NFL has 7 rounds of a draft, and I would say the second and the third rounds are probably like still probably more interesting after the first 10 picks of the NBA draft. Like,
and they move faster than this draft.
Yeah, absolutely. So
has Oklahoma City not chosen yet?
No, they just did. Chet Holmgren.
Yeah. What is Oklahoma? So Joe?
Fine, let Holmgren go there. That's what people want the Cavs to be. Let's draft all this young talent and never win anything, even if you do draft Durant, Westbrook, James Harden, and Serge Ibaka, and then we'll just draft.
You know what? Jeff, makes me laugh. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Justin.
No, look, you go because I think my thing's gonna like develop into like a bigger conversation with Kobe Altman.
So I think it's funny. The third pick's already been announced, by the way. There's still 4.5 minutes on the clock.
Cool.
Jabari Smith is headed to the Houston Rockets.
The top 3 picks
they were always going to go this way. But what I will say, I think a couple of years ago, they told reporters they can no longer report exactly who's going to go at whatever spot. So before it's announced. So I love what Woj has been doing. He goes, Oklahoma City sees Chet Holmgren as a front runner, or Auburn's Jabari Smith as a top Houston's draft board.
They literally tell Woj right off. They probably call Woj before they call Silver.
They give Woj the ticket.
100%. It's definitely a group call. Woj just sitting on the line. It's like when you had phones on the wall. It's like, oh, somebody else picks up the phone, and now that person's on the call. It's probably just like that.
Yeah, so Jeff, I wanted to get back to the Oklahoma City thing because, obviously back in high school, I was a huge Oklahoma City fan with Kevin Durant there and everything.
Right.
And Logan, correct me if I'm wrong, and Jeff, you can either if you know this. Is Sam Presti still the general manager there?
I thought so, unless I missed something. No, I think he is.
Sam Presti, he had all those guys that Jeff listed off. Kevin Durant drafted, well, I don't know if he drafted Kevin.
He probably did.
Regardless, Kevin Durant, Russell Westbrook, Serge Ibaka,
confirmed.
James Harden. He drafted all those guys, and then it's continuing to be talked about how good he is as a general manager as a small market team. When you compare what he's done with year in and year out with you always hear about the draft capital that he's he has or he's obtained or whatever, what is his idea of what's going on? I know now he's kind of in that position where San Antonio is like, all right, you have SGA, but you're still not going anywhere right now.
Right.
No. San Antonio has DeJounte Murray, but they're still not going anywhere right now.
And is SGA even that moving? Does SGA move you?
He's
good, but
he could have the same development, I think, looking at his career right now. He could have a similar kind of incline like DeJounte did. DeJounte's in his 6th year now, and he just became an all-star, Right. So who knows? But, what is we were talking about it in our text message, and I sent it, what are we supposed to do as a team? And this can get into what is Kobe Altman supposed to do as a GM when – it's hard to get the huge, big name free agents in free agency. And the only trade capital you have are picks and then not really anything else. Because let's be honest, and Jeff, this is why I told you I would not do that trade that you offered earlier. No one's going to want Isaac Okoro as he is right now. He has little value.
I think Greg Popovich would want him.
I think he could develop him too.
I think Popovich would want Sexton and Okoro.
That's fine.
But we know that the whole Sexton thing, trading Sexton thing right now is.
I don't know how the Sexton things work. I want it to happen just to see how it works, because there's collective bargaining agreement aficionados in our DMs. This one guy, he's like, can't do that. Now I'm Googling it. Like, I can't even cross-reference what he's saying, but apparently some of it is the player has to like agree, or like it has to be a team where he wants to go. It has to be a 1-for-1 swap. So it's like, that's what I'm saying about Brooklyn.
Yeah.
Like, let's just take Bruce Brown. Like, we'll sign and trade Sexton for Bruce Brown. Then it's like a Lowry, Okoro, 2 first, second package for Durant. So, it's going to be egregious. Obviously, it's not going to be as bad, because if Durant's requesting a trade, Brooklyn loses some leverage there. It's like he's going to want out. If Kyrie's leaving, he's going to want out. So that already looks like it's happened. We talked about this, that the NBA offseason is literally unpredictable. But Justin, to answer your question, is that I'm seeing 2 different formulas from the NBA. And really, the argument that backs up people who disagree with me is Golden State. Like, okay, you want to wait? How long until Curry was elite? 6 years? 5 years?
Yeah, it's long, and that's kind of the same thing that I think about with Giannis. It's like it took Giannis forever to get to where he is now.
Right, but it's like that team didn't even draft that well. Like Drew Holiday, like that's a trade. They drafted Giannis and Middleton, and they drafted some other supplementary pieces who have played roles. But I mean, any GM should be able to do that.
Wait, who drafted Middleton?
Did Milwaukee draft him?
Pistons did. They traded for Brandon Jennings, part of the Brandon Jennings.
So you didn't even draft him.
Keegan Murray goes number 4 to the Kings.
Okay. But here's the formula I'm seeing, Justin. Find your cornerstone, find your franchise player, and go. Dallas. Luka, and go. Do we care who the Dallas drafts tonight? Or do we care, like, if they re-sign Brunson and make another move? Do we care who Atlanta drafts tonight? Or are we more worried about them trading for Gobert?
I'm more about them trading for DeJounte Murray.
Sure, exactly. It's like, okay,
go ahead and take Gobert. I don't care.
The Cavs are in a rare spot where you could have 2 to 3 franchise pieces. Mobley is the franchise piece. I love Garland, and you hope that they, we saw 16. You're not doing 16 without LeBron, obviously. You're not doing 16 without Kyrie, obviously. Luka doesn't have a Kyrie or a LeBron, whichever one you want to equate him to. Trae Young doesn't have a LeBron. Garland has Mobley. That's already there. So I don't want 14 coming in, taking touches away from whoever it is. And if it's a bench player, if it's a supplemental piece, if the middle of the first round of the NBA draft is been reduced to, okay, you're the 7th man of the year because you're not better than Kevin Love, and you're probably going to be just as good as Lamar Stevens. That's just how the NBA is, and I need to get with the times.
Yeah, it's really tough, but like, I guess like the idea of what you were saying with the Golden State Warriors is like the roadmap that the Cavs are trying to take.
I would guess.
I can get with that, but Jeff, doing this with you for 3 years now, covering the Browns, and I want to say the year that we started covering the Browns, we had pretty high expectations, I believe. We were a year out when we first started doing it from saying, hey, we're Super Bowl or bust now.
The first year was 20, ended up
right
20,
and so now we're at this point where I don't think we're championship now, but that's the ultimate goal. That's the thing that you always shoot for. We were a couple of games out from being in the playoffs, like for sure. And then,
that was injured too. Like, imagine healthy at the end of the year. We were a playoff team healthy. We didn't even use the excuses of injuries, because in the time, that's lame. That's lazy. Those are lazy takes. But it's like Valen stays healthy. Mobley doesn't roll the ankle. It's probably, we're not in the plan. We're in a series. Now, we don't win a series. I will agree with you. But it's like, are we one move away now?
It's hard because that's like every team. Like you can go down the line. Is Atlanta one move away? Is
maybe, but I would say move dependent. Like some of the moves that we saw for Gobert, you guys didn't even like them. Like
No,
I
I
think
the Hawks would come on the bad side if they
well,
did.
yeah. So
Yeah.
I think that's part of it. And, you know, that could happen to the Cavs, but it's like, I don't know. The teams that were like, I get what you're saying, but it's like, I'm trying to think of a good example. Like, obviously, your bad teams aren't one move away. Like,
Yeah.
the Pistons are a couple years out. I agree with Logan's timeline. They're probably going to be good. Orlando, I don't know. I don't know about Orlando. Some of the teams in the West, like, I guess if Zion Williamson is healthy and you make a trade, are they one move away? What's going on, Justin?
I'm so sorry. I just clicked on the Twitter for Woj and I saw Kings,
Yeah, different
Murray, and I
Different
was like,
Murray.
I went, oh what? I was like,
Different
what?
Murray. Like
Yeah,
the Kings are not one move away.
Yeah,
They're
right.
just not. That front, like you could just tell front offices just don't have it. And that's another thing, like, okay, at 14.
It's
Who-
interesting that Woj makes the remark about Kings have no trade and plan to keep Murray. So
After months of speculation.
Who are they looking for, though?
yeah, Logan, are you referencing something other than what I said earlier
Sexton?
about the Cavs and the
Sorry, real quick. Jaden Ivey to Detroit, which I think is an interesting pick.
Who did you think they were going to take?
I thought they're going to take Shaden Sharp. That's
Okay,
who my
Sharp is
roommate
still on
wanted.
board.
So we'll see what my
What position does
roommate thinks of
Jaden
that.
Ivey play?
He's a guard, is he not?
no idea. I didn't look at guys that were going to be.
I didn't look
top
at
10,
positions, to be honest with you. I just
like top 8.
look at highlights, but that's a good pick. Anyway, no, I don't really know much about what the Kings were doing, but I know that there's a lot of speculation about them trading. I don't know what the specifics were on that.
Well, the only reason I say that or I bring it up is because the thing I sent in our DMs, which was, I believe, I'll read it out loud. It's after acquiring pick 49 from the Kings, the Cavs are preparing. Oh, so this didn't have to do with the Kings being a third-party team. It was just them giving us the pick.
Right.
It was saying that the Cavs are trying to prepare a massive offer for DeJounte Murray. My fault, Logan. I apologize for that.
Okay, there we go.
See, and here's the thing, Jeremy, cheap backup point guard. And I've heard this person. This is the first time I've heard this person. Ty, what's his last name? Williams? I don't even know, but I've heard this character before. But it's like, why don't you just bring Brandon Goodwin back on the cheap? You know he's serviceable, and then you could parlay the 14th pick with other assets into something else instead of taking a backup point guard with 14. Not ideal. I'm not saying Brandon Goodwin is
I don't love
stud
him anymore. Yeah,
but it's like, I mean, what if you retain Sexton? Why do we need? I mean, if we're gonna have so many, we're gonna have like an excess of ball handlers. Ty Washington. It's like I don't want a backup point guard in the middle of the first round touching the ball if Mobley's on the court. I want Mobley touching the ball. But I'm just gonna keep reiterating that.
Yeah.
I think the thing that the Cavs need to figure out is when it comes, I think I'm going to speak for all of us and tell me if I'm wrong.
Sure.
I think we all expect the Cavs to be in the playoffs next year.
100%.
Anything less is a huge disappointment.
Series win is the expectation for me at this moment in time.
And with that, you need to know your 7 to 8 guys that are going to be playing the majority of those minutes. And so right now, as it stands, the team that you have, Colin Sexton is not on the team. Darius Garland, Karis LeVert, Lauri Markkanen, Evan Mobley, Jared Allen, Isaac Okoro, Kevin Love. And then you fall into that area of, all right, well, Isaac Okoro is definitely not the player that you're going to, bank on him contributing a lot of points.
And he's actually getting less touches.
Yes,
if LeVert's going to be the starter, and like your scenario has Sexton and I'm coming back. If Sexton comes back, if Sexton and LeVert are both on the roster, Okoro is useless.
Might have a point. Yeah.
He's useless.
Can we talk Sexton?
And hold on. And not to cut Justin off and not to cut Logan off. We're going to go to Logan next. And people forget that Kobe Altman has bit himself in the ass, because if you are drafting at 14 to say, hey, this guy's coming off the bench, you're bringing $28 million salary Kevin Love off the bench for his next year because you're paying him $28 million. He is a candidate for Sixth Man of the Year. So you're coming to me as a fan of the team, somebody who covers it, who spends money on the games, which, nobody's forcing me to do that, asterisk, and telling me that you'd use the 14th overall pick for a seventh man at best. That dog isn't hunting. That's not flying with me. But nothing flies with me. So, Logan, go ahead.
First of all, what I'm going to say is that Pistons pick is bigger than we think.
Okay.
They wanted to get Jabari Smith originally, and they had the second best odds to getting number 1. They fell to 5, so they ended up having to settle for just basically, a dynamite score in Jaden Ivey. The problem is that takes them out of the Sexton sweepstakes. So who wants Colin Sexton now? Do the Spurs still want him? Is that still the team? I don't know. But I think less and less teams are showing up right now. What I will say is I have a coworker, Jordan, and he's a huge Warriors fan. And I mean huge Warriors fan. And he's been a Warriors fan since he was a kid. So I actually have respect for him. He has a ton of respect for the Cavs. He loves what they're doing. He loves Darius Garland, Mobley, huge fan of Jared Allen. And he even liked that Kevin Love found a role. I don't know. Good guy, basically what I'm saying. And he said the exact same thing I did on our very first podcast we did together. Okay. That the Cavaliers have to decide who is their guard. And he said the exact same thing. His Warriors had the same problem. Monte Ellis and Steph Curry. Who are you going to pick? Monte Ellis was traded. Fans were pissed, beyond pissed. Sure. They're like, who's this Steph Curry guy? Look what he goes on to do. And they loved Monte Ellis. They traded him for Bogut because that was the better piece. That's what was going to get him to the better spot and solidify who's your starting guard. Darius Garland's the guy, guys. I go back and forth about wanting to keep Sexton and not keep Sexton. But at the end of the day, I think if you want to take that next step, you first have to look yourself in the mirror and see what is actually the team need. What is, I know you could say, we need a scorer. We need a guy that's going to get 20 points a game. Yeah, sure. I would like a defender who can shoot the three and doesn't need the ball much in his hands. And that's kind of like Bogut, right? Not the three part, but he was a defender, didn't need the ball, but he's what you needed for your offense, for your defense. That is what the Cavaliers have to do. They have to take that next step here. And I think it starts with kind of ripping it off like a Band-Aid. It's probably going to piss off a lot of people, hurt a lot of people's feelings. I like Colin Sexton. If Sexton's still on the roster, I honestly won't be that pissed off. I think he deserves a second chance. But at the end of the day, I think people need to understand what needs to happen right now in Cleveland. Let's see what notifications we got. Ben Mathurin is going to the Pacers. He's a former Arizona Wildcat. And, yeah, Benedict Mathurin.
Indiana's like,
position. Logan, what's his position?
Dude, I have no clue.
I wish Woj would include it.
I know.
Locked on.
For us casuals that don't know college
basketball. I don't never even heard of that guy.
I'm interested in that because
he's the seventh best available on the board. That's all I know.
Like you asked earlier, like who else is a suitor for Colin Sexton at this point? And we saw the rumors earlier that it was Indiana and it was Detroit. Well,
he's 6'6".
It was guard. He's a shooting guard?
Shooting guard, small forward at 6'6". I don't know, though. Not sure how that works. How are you? It's like kind of like a midler. He's like Okoro. He's like that mid height.
Yeah, right. That's tough. It's interesting because listening to Logan was very insightful because he made a great point about we don't need a guy who needs to touch, and along with Jeff's point about we don't need guys that need the ball in their hands for more than 5 seconds. We need a catch and shoot guy. Primarily, hopefully from 3-point land and whatever, but with Colin Sexton, what you said with Detroit and that pick being big for the reason of they might not be going after Colin Sexton anymore. It's seeming more and more likely like there are less and less suitors for Colin Sexton, which means his price is coming down or his price is not what he might expect, which brings up the other point of the sign and trade stuff, which I don't know the extent of that, but I would be okay with Colin coming back on a very, very cheap deal for 2, maybe 3 years, get him through December, because from what I was told, through December, all of his money is tradable at that point.
Yeah, I've heard that.
Trade him to Indiana. Trade him to Indiana for oh my God, the guy kept begging.
Well, just Just sign him.
Tyrese Halliburton.
No, the
Buddy
guy
Hield.
that we
Buddy Hield.
Buddy.
Thank you.
Buddy,
How
that's
can I
what you
forget Buddy
wanted,
Hield?
Justin.
I'm thinking like 10 mil. What do you think, Justin? 2 years, 20 million. Is that cheap enough for you? Or I
2
mean,
years, 20 million. Oh, total. I
Yeah,
was like,
yeah,
For
2
I
years,
thought you were
Sexton?
talking.
like 10 a year.
I don't think that's the
10 for Sexton?
That's what I'm saying. Is that cheap enough?
10 million?
that's cheap enough for me. Like I love that, but I
But-
think
But that,
But Logan,
I-
he's just bringing up the point, which is true. Like you brought it up. Like who? My biggest thing with Sexton is that if I'm the front office, I just want someone to say, "Hey, we're giving you 25 million for 4 years." That takes a burden off of my shoulders. The fans aren't mad at me. We can't match that. Sorry, but like you said, Detroit's pick, Orlando's pick. Like who wants them? Who needs them?
yeah, I don't know. If listen, 2 years, 20 million, sign me up for that.
I would have a hard time turning that down. And
Yeah.
I don't even like them.
And I think with that, the message is clear. It's like, hey, you need to prove something here, or you're probably getting traded, or you're just, you're not the guy. You're not that
if
guy.
Detroit's taking Ivy,
not
that's
that
another
guy.
thing. If Detroit's taking Ivy instead of trying to put a qualifying offer out for Sexton, what is that like? That shows you something about Sexton. If they think Ivy, like I get it, it's price tag, he's coming off the meniscus or MCL or whatever he had. I get it. I do get it. Pause real quick. We got 13 people in chat. Appreciate every single one of you. If you're Cavs fans, if you're not, if you're fans of the NBA, make sure you hit that like button, get us in the YouTube algorithm, and go in the description box. We have partnered with in my opinion, one of the greatest sportsbook out there in BetUS. Sign up through our link, type in join125 through that's our code, our promo code, and you will be signed up. You'll be able to gamble on sports. You gamble on the draft. You could have, but it already started, so you can't. But sports gambling is coming legal to Ohio in January 1st, 2023. So get on there, get going, and make sure that you put some futures in there, whoever you want to win the Super Bowl, all that good stuff. But back to what Logan was saying as we drag on for 14, because Jesus.
wait a second.
Go ahead.
New York Knicks remain engaged with the Pistons in an attempt to trade for Jaden Ivey.
Okay, then the Pistons will put 25 million to Sexton. We won't have to. Then we'll trade 14 Okoro and the second round pick and whatever assets Washington wants for Bradley Beal, and we'll be fine.
They probably
Bradley Beal in free agency.
Well, sure.
Yeah.
Whatever. I'm just throwing out scenarios. We're going to pick at 14 because I just know how this works. I know how Altman operates. He's been here a little bit.
What was the last, does anyone remember, though, the last big or, kind of, worthwhile mid NBA draft trade that went down?
Mid NBA draft trade?
Yeah.
I don't know if it happens very often.
That's my thing. I think, we get to 10, and if nothing's happened since 10, then it's done. And
what could have been one was Kevin Porter Jr. That one should have been.
But Justin, we're discounting is that the NBA teams usually draft and then trade. Like we didn't trade the Wiggins pick. We drafted Wiggins and then traded him.
Well, it'll be interesting because isn't the San Antonio pick up next?
Yeah, but they would probably keep that person.
That's what I'm saying. What if they draft a guard and their idea is to trade Murray? That's why Logan bringing up the point about the Pistons picking a guard and being out on Colin Sexton.
Tyler Zeller. Mike is saying Tyler Zeller was a blockbuster pick in the NBA draft. I'm gonna believe him because I don't remember, but I
thought that was a great pick at the time.
What a throwback.
Logan, back to your point.
I hated that pick. Wait. I hated that pick. You know why? Because Jared Bellinger was in that draft.
Oh,
and
God. Jared's the great NBA Jared.
Listen, what's Tyler Zeller doing right now?
Tyler Zeller Tyler Zeller might be in the league.
He's
10
had a
years
better
already.
career, I think. He's definitely had a better career, but
There's nothing to write home about.
Neither one of them have done anything. I'm a homer, by the way, so
he threw out all of his Cavs stuff once he was traded. I know that.
He's such a child. Get him out. Logan, back to your point though. Picking the point guard. I get it, and this isn't to paint a broad brush. Like I'm not trying to lump a whole bunch of people into it, but it's typical fandom. Because this is where the logic breaks down for me. People love Garland, which is consensus, I love Garland. The panel loves Garland. It's fine. He's easy to love. And I get how people see Sexton that light due to his stats. I really do. But it's like, we want Garland to succeed. we want to keep Sexton. We need a couple more years for Isaac Okoro, speaking in air quotes, and we're going to draft at 14. I hate to break it to you, specifically on the NBA roster, it just rarely works like that. That's that's where role players come from, you know?
Yeah.
It's not like, sure, you want everyone to succeed, but some scenarios, it's not going to work like that. It's like, think about NFL football. I love Nick Chubb. I'm a huge fan of Kareem Hunt. And you know who grows on me? Dearness Johnson. I want all of them to get 150 rushing yards this game.
Sure.
Justin, is that going to happen? Are we going to have 450 rushing yards between 3 running backs?
No, Sarah.
There you go. That's my point there. You know, Dearness Johnson comes on with COVID has depleted our running back room, and we got to play Denver on a
just
short
as
week.
well as anyone. Right.
And he shows out to the world. That's fine. That's perfect. But it's not like Dearness Johnson is getting the start next week when Nick Chubb comes off the COVID list.
Shaden Sharp to Portland. Shaden Sharp to Portland.
Do we think Portland is building something worth noting?
No, not a chance, dude. I'm
totally
sorry.
agree.
I get pissed off because honestly, I feel for Damian Lillard. You know, there comes to a point.
Lillard. We could trade 14 for Lillard. I'd be in.
I could be convinced. Twist my wrist.
Right.
Yeah. It's just he's given so much to that Portland team, and everyone's always like, oh, like the loyal guys, like the true guys and stuff. It's like, yeah, but you're going to discount his legacy when he doesn't have any rings, right? Because that's what we love to do as NBA fans. We're all like, oh yes, Team Lillard, we love Damian Lillard, and then he doesn't have a ring. Screw yeah, whatever. We don't need a
NBA 75 though.
I hate the people that want to come at me with, well, he has more rings. Like, shut the hell up. And I'm getting angry.
Has more rings.
But like that's like Damian Lillard. They get him Jeremy Grant. Okay, thanks. Not even Jeremy Grant's good. Not even he is as good as
he's 20
CJ
points per
McCollum.
game, and Detroit wanted to move off him. So is he really that good?
He's not fit the Detroit timeline, and he doesn't fit Portland's timeline any better. Like I don't know. It's just one of those moves that I think is like it's kind of like when the Cavs. You know what the equivalent is when the Cavs got Antoine Jameson,
sure,
or the Cavs got old Shaq.
Not enough.
Look, big,
not enough to move the needle, but good storyline.
Yeah, that's about the equivalent of that draft pick. Instead of getting Amari Stoudemire, the Cavaliers got Antoine Jameson. Instead of getting someone like Anthony Davis, they got Jeremy Grant. Like it's just like, yeah, I don't know. That whole situation kind of pisses me off. But as a person who has a soft spot for the Detroit Pistons, because I'm originally from Michigan. Sure. I think that was a great move for Detroit. They have a lot of good things going there.
I don't have any animus against Detroit.
We sucked together for the same years. We were good together for the same years.
I've always never been able to. It's just a conference thing. Like it's weird. Maybe we just play more. Maybe you just get more acquainted. But I have never had a huge hate against an Eastern Conference team besides Miami when LeBron went there. It's always the Western Conference teams. It's always the Warriors.
Boston. I definitely had a gripe with Boston.
Right, but we haven't had a big clash with Boston since.
Well, even 2017 when they came at us with Isaiah Thomas, I was like, yeah, good
that's
luck.
What I'm saying. Like, that series was good too. Like, that's just how good those years were. But it's like, was anybody? That's the LeBron effect. Maybe not the Lakers LeBron, especially this year. But it's like, I was expecting the finals every year. You just get lazy as a fan. Like, I didn't think we were ever going to lose that series. You know?
Right. No, not at all. I don't know. It's just overall the NBA and like these moves that people do. I think sometimes we look at it, we're like, okay, cool, but like, what does that do for you?
It's just,
and that's the reason the Cavaliers,
headlines.
When they're taking this next step, have to outweigh, the pros and cons. Okay, how much better does this truly make us? I think a guy like DeJounte Murray puts us in contention for the Eastern Conference. If we're being 100%. Honest.
That's how I feel about Beal.
Dude, JJ Hickson was so good. I won't accept anything less. LeBron had this nice pick and roll thing going with him, the lobs. I don't know. There's something about JJ Hickson that I just really enjoyed. And then he just fizzled out and was a no man, from there on. Is that what he's saying? JJ Hickson was the savior of the Cavaliers, I heard.
That's sarcasm. Well, that's
that's
referring to pre-draft because I felt bad for JJ Hickson because I swear, and I don't even know, I can't confirm this, but I thought they gave LeBron as a pro comp to him. Like they set him up for failure, I think. Like they thought he was going to be the next like GOAT discussion, as far as I'm concerned. Maybe it was over
J.J.
exaggerated
Hickson?
maybe it was over exaggerated in my head, but they set him up bad pre-draft. But
A lot of these players do. That's the reason a lot of them get picked on. All right, we got Dyson Daniels to New Orleans. Every Twitter
Ricky,
notification, I'm just looking for Cavaliers immediately.
shout out to Slick Rick. I'm gonna go back and find
Ricky.
but that's the issue with these episodes being so long. I'm like, oh yeah, I'm gonna go back, I'm gonna find clips, splice them together, make a YouTube short. Then I go back to all of our content, and I forget that they're like 45 minutes long.
Yeah.
So thanks for hanging around and watching those videos,
Jeffrey, I thought you were kind of an idiot, to be honest with you, when you originally said DeJounte Murray. I was like, dude, that's cool and all, but what do you want to give up the half the team to get him? And now it's like, okay, maybe it's not as bad as we thought. I mean,
I was like, we maybe should have done it earlier.
What is the asking price? We haven't officially established it. We made up some jokes and stuff, but what is it to you?
Too much. And that's where Justin's point comes in. Justin's currently muted. He'll be back with us shortly. We're taking little breaks here because we're not even at double digits yet. This man's name is Vacuum Daniels. Not all Dysons are vacuums, but not all vacuums are Dysons.
Daniels. Hey,
what was I saying?
Yeah,
Murray.
Murray. What's the original?
This is where Justin brings the good point of, how do you develop small market teams unless it's solely through the draft? Unfortunately, you have to overpay people and you have to over trade for people. That's just how it is.
Only way it's worth it. So I think, again, I guess we don't know enough about how sign-in trades work, but what is it going to take? Sexton, 1439. Give them all the picks tonight plus Sexton. Do you want it? I don't know how it works, dude.
It's like people say that's too much, but if you're
okay, then we'll continue to be a 45 to 50 win team and lose in the second round. That's what we'll get.
That, and if you're in the unique circumstance here's a couple of things. If you want LeBron back on this team, and logically you want to do it through free agency next season.
DeJounte Murray's one of LeBron's friends.
When he's going to be 40, and I still think he's going to have gas in the tank at 40. I think LeBron on the Cavs this year, the LeBron that the Lakers got from him, we're Eastern Conference. We're fine. We're
NBA champions.
It would have been tough. We would have needed some help from younger guys in the finals against a very, very, very
experienced Boston team isn't beating us.
I agree with you because we have LeBron. No, we have LeBron. We're NBA champs. You're right.
We're NBA champs. Right. LeBron, Garland, Mobley, Allen. Good luck.
What am I saying?
LeBron took J.R. Smith as his second best player to the finals.
You're right. And LeBron was in contention for the scoring title this year. Silly me. Logan, 100% correct. But it's like, let's say Kyrie goes there to Los Angeles. Let's just say he does. Which it looks, I don't know if Brooklyn will make that trade or whatever, but how are you going to get LeBron back to our roster if it's like, and I would say Garland and Mobley is enough to get the job done. Not even, considering Jared Allen. That's enough. But LeBron has to play the 3. So it's like, does he really want to play the 3? He's kind of a natural 4. He could really play anywhere. He could play the 1. Do we want LeBron touching the ball if Garland's the 1? It's a whole lot of different things. Now we're just spitballing, we're going on 50 minutes.
We're still waiting to get to pick 14.
Anthony Bennett is on Mike's screen right now. What?
Who? Why? Is somebody getting comp to him? That would be hilarious.
That's gross. I feel bad for whoever made that comp for whatever player. Gotta go to jail for that.
LeBron, Kyrie versus Cleveland Finals would be hilarious. Yes, and when we trade for Durant, it'll be Garland and Durant versus Kyrie and LeBron. It'll be the most watched finals ever.
Who is going to have their eyes glued to that?
And it'll be the largest. It'll be the second largest championship parade in downtown Cleveland when we win in 6.
Is that
just saying though? Let's just I don't know. I don't know what the trade would be. I don't know what Lakers would give up. But how the Lakers don't even have money, so it's like I don't know what they're doing. How many times are we gonna let Josh? I don't know. People still want it back. I'm not a huge LeBron being back person.
As many times he gives us a championship.
But it's like some people are asking to trade for him this offseason. And it's like, well, no, that's not happening. And then if you want him to come back next offseason, I'm not going to cuss you out, but it's like, I agree. How many times is he going to leave us?
Okay. The Anthony Bennett thing about Canadian players being drafted.
And here's the thing. Now, this brings up something I mentioned earlier because I have a resident statistician that I follow, not Fulam1, but somebody different who's in the Cleveland community on Twitter. And interestingly enough, Dang is international. Usmani Dang. I'm just rolling with it. A big metric for international basketball players, according to this statistician, is how many times they go to the free throw line. And
this guy didn't go to the free throw line.
Luka's was really high, and like Luka was the benchmark. This guy was very low. Like he don't go to the free throw line at all. And a lot of people were harping on that. I don't know. I can't corroborate that info, but
I think so. From what I read about that kid, I mean, he's only 19 years old.
He would be the project you're kind of looking for.
Yeah, he moves from wherever he was originally from to, I believe. Oh man, was it Africa? I'm so
Daniels
sorry.
will be good in 8 years.
It was either like Australia or Africa. He moves to, plays in the Euro League, whatnot. But before all that happens, COVID hits. And so COVID restricts everything that's going on for them.
He doesn't have a lot of data. Is this true?
Okay. Yes. Yep. But like I said, like I'd be interested if you could pull those metrics up for Giannis. And I know I keep bringing it up, and I know that's like a lofty thing to be putting this kid up next to.
I don't mind it though.
You know, Jeff, you and I know very well, like in the NFL draft, every year a player is comped to Tom Brady. Like someone's going to be comped.
I think they've started. I think the pro comps across professional sports has actually gotten better recently because I think there's like unwritten rules, like don't comp the Hall of Famers, like don't comp people who you think are going to be in the Hall of Fame. But it's like, dude, the NBA process, believe it or not, even though we have to sit here kind of all night, is extremely better than like the NFL process to me, even though it's only one position group. But quarterbacks are so annoying pre-draft. Yeah. They just are. All of them are. Like, it's just how it goes. And it's like, it's almost better that I don't know these guys like up and down. I don't have any preconceived notions. You know, if we take O'Shea, whatever, and, you know, Agbaji, I would be, now I'm going to do research into him. And as far as us drafting at 14, that's who I kind of think I want as far as
Antonio's up next.
That might be a big pick to monitor.
Orlando, guys. I'm just looking at Twitter right now. Actually, this is interesting. We're talking about, is Orlando going to be good at all? Mm-hmm. This person said Orlando's young core is looking solid. If you look at this, Paolo Banchero, Franz Wagner, Cole Anthony, Jalen Suggs, Wendell Carter Jr., Markelle Fultz, Jonathan Isaac, Mo Bamba, R.J. Hampton.
That's a lot of guys.
That's a lot of guys, but
you make that list and you're like, all right, but who's the standout in that group?
Pistons are going to officially keep Jaden Ivey despite the trade rumors about the Knicks, is what this is saying. Sorry, what were you saying? I'm just trying to look at Twitter and keep us.
Like, they're back-to-back Canadians. That's why.
With that group of players that you just listed from the Magic, who's like the standout guy, and how much of a standout is he?
Right. I mean, I guess you're hoping Banchero is that guy. Is Franz Wagner going to get much better than what he is? Suggs had a terrible year last year. He was supposed to be the man, but I don't know.
Cole Anthony wasn't Cole Anthony. No,
Cole Anthony had a nice season. Yeah, he played a lot better than people thought. This is a funny tweet I think Jeffrey will appreciate. Isaac Okoro was starting games for the Cleveland Cavaliers, and I'm supposed to worry about how DeJounte Murray fits. Spare me.
I saw that.
The Spurs will select Jeremy Sochan. I have no idea.
Sick.
At number 9.
Position we'll never know. What is up with? And I'm looking at Twitter. What is up
6'9",
with?
Not a guard. Damn it.
6'9".
Not a guard.
Yeah, but if they want to trade Sexton, maybe they want Sexton to be in there one.
He's from Baylor. Oh, from Baylor. No, okay. I definitely know this guy's face. I didn't know his name.
I would love. That's what I'm saying though. What if somebody pays Sexton a boatload of money and they're like, "Hey, you're gonna run the one"? Like, how funny would that be to us? That would be hilarious to me because everody knows he's a 2. Because we drafted him as a 1 and we have moved him to a 2. Paolo Banchero is. And I don't even Banchero. Sorry, is he French?
I don't think so. I have no idea. I don't know.
All I know
is that his mom is the all-time leader at Washington for basketball in points, and she also played WNBA, right?
Cooper family. That usually turns out well.
Turns out all right.
Caro, and I don't even know how they have these numbers. Must be predetermined, pre-draft, collective bargaining, whatever. His contract is $49.4 million over 4 years. The first overall is egregious.
Dude, I mean,
It's like
I feel like
how much
first
is
round
that a
contracts
year?
in general, because isn't like if you're a lottery pick, it's like a stupid amount more than anywhere else.
Mobley,
the
I think
draft.
Mobley made like the same as Garland
Like,
this year.
doesn't Mobley? I think Mobley makes like 6 or
more.
7, right? 5.5 maybe.
I mean, it's the NBA contracts are egregious.
Yeah,
11, 12 mil for
I'm gonna start training right now. I'll get to the NBA, guys.
Swear. No. Start training to be an agent. Imagine being his agent.
That's the way to go.
You didn't even walk across stage or anything. You're just like, oh, I'll just take a percentage of that.
Yeah, let's go ahead.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's interesting because Jeff was talking about oh God, I just completely lost the point I was making. In terms of like trying to trade for DeJounte Murray right now with, picks being made and going, who knows with this kid that they just drafted, but going back to even looking at the chat, Mike's all about being a homer like I am. I'm fine with
That's
Brandon.
why I don't know if I like Malachi.
Yeah, it is what it is, but
But
at the end of the day, why Jeff has always made the point of what are teams like San Antonio doing? What are teams like Oklahoma City doing? Realistically, like Logan just said, with all the names that is on Orlando, realistically, none of those teams have more than one guy that is good and then a bunch of randos. Whereas we already have our set
established
guys.
core.
Did we have to pick in the top 8 4 years in a row in order to get, 2 guys, Garland and Mobley, to get us to the point where we are now and get lucky with a trade for Jared Allen to make us a solid team? Yeah, but now with Colin Sexton and Isaac Okoro, it's okay to dump those guys off for a proven commodity like DeJounte Murray. The whole fit thing doesn't make sense. Oh, and I don't know. Jeff will probably get a kick out of this because we were doing it during the Browns Watson saga where we were hopping into lives and everything. Or that's what they're called on Twitter, right? Lives.
Spaces.
Sorry.
Yeah.
I hopped into Mac Perry's space today.
Sure.
And I talked a little bit and not going to bring that up, but someone in there brought up the point about Colin Sexton being a black hole. And it was interesting, Jeff, because, I live on the side of Twitter of there is no Cavs fan, I quote Cavs fan here, that thinks Colin Sexton is tradable, replaceable, whatever, because he scores 24 points per game or whatnot. And this dude straight up was speaking facts. And then I had a guy immediately after, and this is why I don't typically like to get into spaces, came on, could very much tell he was a Colin Sexton bro, whatever you want to.
Colin Sexton. I haven't heard that one. I'm gonna start using that.
I'm on, I'm too much on the Brown side of that where, I think I might have been labeled as a Baker bro at one point, or still am, but it's it was crazy because this dude straight up attacked this dude for using the word black hole and Colin Sexton in the same
Is he not?
But the guy made 0 points. He was like,
I'm sure.
Oh, Colin Sexton. He was like, Colin Sexton scores 24 points, and all the missed assists are things that aren't calculated or things that aren't visible. It's but
if that's the case, then Garland's averaging 33 assists a game.
I'm sure Garland has missed assists. I'm sure Evan Mobley has missed assists. What is your point with that in terms of his efficiency? It's not, you look at what Garland did in one season and it's wow, and not even, you can take away the last season. He was already a better passer than Sexton in 2 years than Sexton has ever been. And it's is he doing anything crazy in those 2 years with the team that we had? Not really. Did he do a little bit crazier things in this season? Sure. But I think a lot of the stuff that he did also looked so easy because of how good he actually was. And it's just like there's a significant leap. I made a tweet. I was like, can someone there was 5 games that someone pulled up of Darius Garland's stat lines from last season that are just phenomenal double stat lines. And I tried to like see if I could get anyone to bite, but no one but bit on the whole. Can someone show me 5 games in Colin Sexton's career where he has a stat line like this? And like the only thing I think I pointed out was, hey, he probably has multiple 30 point games, but like what are his other numbers? What are his assists?
He has like 2 career double doubles.
Yeah, I don't know. It's tough out here trying to navigate the seas of love and hate with Colin Sexton, but
you know, I talked to you guys about how whoever takes Chet Holmgren's going to be making a massive mistake, and how he could be a good player, but will he actually be their cornerstone?
Sure.
So earlier today, I guess 1 hour ago, they asked Chet Holmgren, who's the best player in the NBA? He said, me in 2 months.
I saw that. That's like old, though. That's not even from today.
Either way, that's way too much confidence. See, he has the wrong mindset. You have to be humble
100%.
going in. And then Famuloso, funny as hell on Twitter, he said that boy going guard Giannis and be like, damn.
Is it me or is this San Antonio? Oh, wait, no, wait, what?
There he select. Or no, they took, what's his name, Sochan. And
Why does Woj not have a tweet? Am I missing something here?
I don't know.
Honestly, he tweeted that pick, and then Johnny Davis just got taken number 10 by the Wizards. We're coming up on the Cavs pick, guys.
Here's the thing, too. What was I? Okay. Oh, Logan Holmgren. I saw that. Didn't like it. Didn't like it either. But OKC is in terrible landing spot for him. OKC, right?
Yeah,
he doesn't need to be. No, it's not. He doesn't need to be the guy there.
No, he doesn't need to be.
Which is fine. That's
STA
fine.
And,
I agree with you.
Yeah,
I agree with you. If he like had to go be the one, I don't like that pick at all. But I mean, he's going to work off of SGA. They have Lou Dort.
What's his face? Josh Giddey. There we go.
Yeah, like Giddey. But it's like
not a bad young core.
That roster doesn't move me. We got the fiance walking around in the background. Nobody.
Yeah.
She's fine. Her spot too.
Wait, what's her prediction for the Cavs?
Who do you think the Cavs are going to draft? She don't know ball. That's fine though. We're going to the Guardians on Saturday.
Nice.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure her opinions on football are taken out of like we don't air those because she's a Pittsburgher. So
yeah, we don't.
But Pittsburgh doesn't have basketball, so she can talk basketball with us.
She's not big into sports. That's the only reason we really get along. Besides like tennis. We'll talk tennis once in a while.
I like tennis.
But it's like she's not a big Steelers fan.
Tennis podcast?
We'll let her slide. Tennis podcast? No. Sit. Jeff's got a ghost in his house. That's a roast. I like that. We have 21, she's gonna people on.
She's gonna come through the monitor and mac him. Hit him with the 1-2.
With the 1-2.
But yeah, that's fine with OKC. I mean, it doesn't move me, but we've been talking about that all night. What is up with Washington picking a guard? I mean, I know Beal is
they don't have a point guard. This is a point guard, Johnny Davis.
Beal is a shooting guard, and who knows? Like that report about Beal from Legion Hoops, then like an hour later, he tweeted, he was like, "What?" Beal tweeted like he had no idea what that report was about, asking out.
Everyone's an expert. Everyone's an expert. Just like us, we're experts.
No, we're not.
We listen to other experts.
AZ Play says, what do you think about Sharif declaring for the draft? I've only been privy to this story the last 12 hours.
So I heard that. Right? Is it true he only averaged 3 points and 2 rebounds, but then he got to work out with the Lakers? I saw some tweet like that. And I'm
but is that why Shaq is telling him to stay in school because he's not good? Or is Shaq telling him to stay in school like just because he's like being like a dad?
Get better.
Well, I was just wondering if you wanted him to finish school. Like Shaq is kind of a hardcore dad from all the little tidbits I've seen. But if he's averaging 25 a game in college, I don't think Shaq's telling him to stay in school.
Yeah, but he's not.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, right.
So I have no idea.
Guys, I just want to see a trade notification. Come on, give me it.
I don't think Jeff's right. We're not getting one.
Let's talk some fun stuff really quickly.
Heck yeah.
Because this is such an here's the thing. You want to hear my biggest Altman move of the whole draft? We're going to take Isaiah Mobley at 49.
That I would love that. I would love that.
I don't
really
care, but
would.
it's like that is so corny.
That's
That is
awesome.
So,
I
that
would
is
do
so
it.
corny. Everything about that's why I like. I'm trying. Like it's just I'm too far deep into Altman. If he moved for Murray or Beal, I literally might never say a bad word about him again. But it's like I know, like you just go to the games too, and you don't know what he has his hand in, but you see him down at the sideline. It's like, oh, he trades for LeVert, and then they announce that he's from Columbus. It's like, is he corny? Or is it just
He's
me?
a little corny, but
He's
he trying to get brownie points with certain things?
He's in the most spotlight general manager out of everybody. And yeah, that's biased. I don't see the other general managers, but
Dang goes number 11. So that was one of our prospects.
Dang.
Number 11.
Dang over O'Shea.
To the New York Knicks.
Oh, the Knicks screwed that up. Whoever the Knicks want, I don't want. That's fine.
Which, yeah, they're not going to get Jaden Ivey from Detroit. Not a chance.
Now, what about people don't
whoa. Why are the Cavs on the clock?
Wait, what?
Why did
they shouldn't be?
Why did GBR just? Oh,
my God, Justin, my heart dropped for a second. I was like,
just
"What's
fuck
happening?"
Me off for the rest of this stream.
From the desk of Kobe Altman. Exactly, Mike.
I'm reading shit like with half the words in the sentence for some reason.
Justin's kind of amped up today. This dude has been active.
We haven't talked in so long.
I know. So everybody, all 19 people in chat, we appreciate the hell out of you because we legitimately haven't uploaded for 2 weeks. I know it's kind of tough to upload when our recent uploads are popping too. Like, okay, we see 1,500 views. That's a lot. That's a lot for the boys. But we could have totally flopped tonight and we still would be sitting here talking because, we love the fans. We do it for you guys, but we do it for ourselves first. We hop on, we come and talk with the boys before anyone else. So we appreciate everyone. Hit that like button. Check out the description for our promo code. That's sick.
Dang being off the board. I'm hopping back on the
Woj is terrible tonight.
Branham hype train.
Agbaji.
By the way, the only thing I want to say about Branham and this, now with Dang off the board, I really have zero vested interest. Like, we could get the kid from LSU, we could get the kid from Kansas.
What about Tari Eason?
That's the kid from LSU.
Is he?
I forgot. Someone on Twitter or in that space kept calling him Terry, and I was like, I don't know what.
I'm waiting for the enunciation.
That's
John Michael get us right.
We get flamed if we say it, but
Jeff Phelps on 92.3 The Fan, which don't listen to 92.3 The Fan. Binge watch all of our stuff before you watch 92.3 The Fan. Unless you're affiliated with 92.3 The Fan, then email us. But Jeff Phelps will get us right on Baskin and Phelps.
Yeah. My thing with Branham, and the one thing I've seen people say about him is he's quite literally Sexton 2.0, except
Knicks are moving Dang to OKC.
Really?
Interesting.
So OKC's grabbing another guy. So who is?
What did they give up for that?
Justin, how funny would it be after all of this, especially last offseason, and Sexton ended up a Knick?
That'd be.
You know what? That would be the most New York move.
That'd be so
that would be
funny.
Such a Knicks move, man.
Jeff, there was one point in this live stream where Logan called us experts, and you said no,
Josh.
and I was like, "Are you sure about that? Do you not remember my expert mock trade that I made a couple?"
And then I put a mock trade out there, and you don't freak out on me, but I respond to everybody, so it was like okay. Josh,
so funny.
I appreciate that.
That's kind of
how it should feel.
We don't have a vision statement. We don't have a mission statement. We're not very organized. Actually, behind the scenes, we are organized. Logan, his mouth is open.
Oh, it's nothing to do with the Cavs. But apparently, the Thunder are sending multiple first-round picks to New York.
They got them. They got them all.
Sure, but for Dang, package it.
I'm telling you, this is why I was saying it, is that, he has that potential. And this, listen, like Logan said, we're no experts. We're no experts.
Right.
But to say, last year, I had Cam Thomas picked out from no man's land.
That was great input.
Sure.
The jury's still out, but he went to the Nets, and when they actually let him play significant minutes, he
can ball.
Looked very good.
Instinct, yeah.
this Dang kid, I think he's got potential, and that was the only thing going for him in my mind compared to other guys. Like everyone else is like at a set ceiling right now, and it's all pretty the same for me. So don't know that I'm gonna be like over the top with anyone. The big thing that I want to note here though is like this will piss me off. This is gonna be the Kobe Altman thing that I'll hop on Jeff's train and I'll start hating on the dude. You cannot use all these picks. You just can't. And like now
they're not going to make the roster.
And I don't want to trade, and I don't even want to trade back into the first round with those second round picks. Like I don't want two guys. I hardly even want one guy.
Correct.
So, like this is going to be.
But does Altman think about these things? It's like, okay, you moved up for 49. Now the storyline for me, if I'm an investigative reporter at Cleveland.com, 92.3 The Fan, WTM 1100 is, okay, is 49, who's making the roster? 49 or Windler? A first round pick for Kobe Altman took a couple years ago. Like that's my storyline every day. First round pick that isn't very good, will he make the roster? Or second round pick that we really didn't need, will he make the roster? Kobe Altman decides. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Sexton, why? What?
And we already qualified
Dean
Wade.
About?
It's like the optics just aren't.
Hold on, does Mike know something we don't, or is that in reference to something?
No, he said, you know who's making the roster?
Sexton. I just missed that first part.
I can't wait for 49 to beat out Cora. Like, exactly. Like, okay, how can I give you props as a fan? Like, wow, you really got value at 49. He beat out your 5th overall pick of Cora. Right. Congrats. Like, he's playing more.
We're getting close here, guys. Jalen Williams or Agbaji? I kind of like Jalen Williams too. I've been watching a lot of Mac Perry stuff, and Mac thinks Jalen Williams has to be the pick. So
I'm glad you have, because I have not.
I looked into him a little bit. Lanky.
Look into Williams.
Go ahead, take a look at him. Go ahead and pull up.
What do you think about
here?
What do you think about O'Shea?
I think he's a guy that could be NBA ready, but I also think he's going to struggle to make his own shot. And right now, that's not what we need. We need another dynamic player who can also defend. I think Jalen Williams, here we go. Let's take a look. 6'10", 640, or 240.
See, but what is he playing?
11 points, 10 rebounds, 3 assists. My understanding is he's kind of like a 3/4. Like I think he plays more 3 than he does 4.
So are we locked into? We're locked into a bench guy. I mean, maybe we always were, but like, am I just realizing this? Like we're locked into a bench
Oklahoma
guy.
City took Jalen Williams, dude. But Oklahoma City just got Jalen Williams, Chet Holmgren, and Dang.
And they moved. I mean, they have so many picks. I mean, it's plausible.
That's what I said. That's what I was talking about earlier.
Well, there was Jalen Williams, so get him off my screen. Damn it! Come on.
I'm intrigued with his rebounding, but it's like, dude.
Give me Agbaji then. I'll take Agbaji. I only got one more pick.
That's who I kind of always wanted.
Are we at 13 now?
We're about to go on 13. This is 12. The Knicks the Thunder still have the 12th pick. It isn't part of the Knicks trade. Okay, yeah. So Jalen Williams went 12 and are waiting on 13, and then we got us.
So here we're
Doritos at 14.
So here we're sitting at
take the guys the Spurs want.
Yeah.
So we're either taking how do you say
Agbaji?
Agbaji.
I think that's correct too.
Right? Like that's probably going to be.
We're going to take Branham, and they're going to say pregame. They're going to say from trademarked. Mike, help us out with
from the Ohio State.
DF Sports better still be in here. I'm leaving it up to him or Mike.
The wrong Jalen Williams. Wait, were we looking at?
Oh, am I an idiot?
Yeah, I think
I'm an idiot. Okay, thank you, Kirsten. Appreciate
what's
that.
What's his name is talking from is from Santa Clara.
Santa Clara.
Why does this guy come
up? That's the one that just got taken. Santa Clara's Jalen Williams, Jalen.
I was gonna say this guy.
I think Jeff
I thought that didn't look right.
I knew it was E, but whatever. We're on to the real deal here. We're on to Agbaji. All right. I mean, we have a scorer. We have a scorer. I will say that. We do have a scorer.
He started his Kansas career shooting 30% from 3. Got that all the way up to 40% last year on 6.5 attempts when I was looking.
He's also an older guy, right? He's
ready, but he would basically be a bench piece unless they're talking about Sexton.
40% from 3. Intriguing.
Here's
74% from the line, not as intriguing.
A kicker, they should. Cade York. I like Cade York better than all of
AJ
these guys.
Griffin. I forget. See,
That's what
now
they're saying. Who's
that's a guy that Perry was also on that I know Logan was hinting at as well. But I don't think that's likely for me.
That's in a different tab.
But I did think that was a possibility. So maybe we have 3 different choices. Here's my thing with Agbaji and with Branham. I think you're just getting 2.0 versions of guys that we already have. In my mind, and maybe this is probably a slight at Agbaji. I'm going to keep slaughtering this dude's name forever, and I apologize. But he's just a 2.0 version in my mind of what Chetty should be. Hopefully he's a more consistent version of what Chetty should be when it's coming to shooting the 3 ball. And then Branham's just a 2.0 version of what Sexton is. Hopefully he can develop into something better.
Is Chetty's like 6'5", though?
Chetty's 6'8", technically, I think.
Yeah,
6'7".
I think he's tall. He's like a relatively tall guy.
So I thought this is interesting, guys. This guy said, guys I'd target, guys I'd avoid. Ochai Agbaji is on the guys I'd target, along with Scotty Barnes Jr., Ty Washington, Malachi Branham. But the guys that he said would avoid, so let's keep an eye on these names, because this guy was supposed to apparently have been taken by now, possibly at 11. It's Jalen Duren, AJ Griffin, EJ Liddell, Walker Kessler, Dalen Terry, Max Christie. So we just got to keep an eye on some names here and seeing what makes sense to a lot of other people too, because I think everybody's opinion is definitely valuable. I'll take whatever I'll take whatever opinion people have right now. If the Cavs draft Malachi Branham, I'll eat a foot-long hot dog for every like this tweet gets.
Who? Sir Yacht?
This guy's no. This is Brendan Swan.
Thought it was for
Very
sure.
much
Sir
sounds
Yacht.
like
22 likes. That's not looking too good right now.
A foot-long hot dog?
Tim Smith from St. Ed's.
Meat in his mouth.
Tim Smith says Cavs should take Duren and open up bidding.
Well, I think Logan just did not.
If they all right,
what'd you say? I'm sorry, you guys kind of broke up for a second.
You missed it. It was in the moment.
We're gonna have to stay on for a little bit too, though, because like we might pick somebody and move them.
Yeah,
But does
totally
Branham? I'm gonna be honest with you, because you see Ohio State basketball on the timeline, whatever. I didn't hear about Branham being good till like at least past the halfway point of the college basketball season.
Like EJ, I think the idea going into
we thought Liddell was going to be the better prospect.
Yep, 1,000%.
Guys, I wanted that Jalen Williams dude. He averaged 19 points a game, 50% from three from the field goal, 39% from 3.
Nope.
I'm just glued to my phone right
Stay
now.
on till 49, Mike.
Yeah, right.
49, Michael.
Mike, I'll import you in here. And,
Michael, I want to eat.
You could talk.
That's what I want to do.
You could talk for the next 3 hours.
I got
is slower than the first round of the NFL draft. Whatever letters.
Man, we could hop off 15, and if something cool happens, who knows?
But here's the thing, man. I just it. Just having LeBron and then being low lottery every year, you're just out of touch with reality at these mid-round picks, because we were just always locked into a bench player unless we're having this significant movement. But even if you move pieces, you're expecting pieces back. But it's this guy is not beating out LeVert. Let's just say we take Ochai Agbaji. He's not playing over LeVert. And they're similar, 6'5", whatever, 6'6".
But I think that's good at 14, a quality bench piece. No,
he's not 6 though. He has no wiggle room to 6. Or you're paying Kevin Love $28 million to be 7 or 8.
Unless he really blows up somehow.
And is he better than Lamar? I don't know.
Could be.
Could be. But that's where Jeff gets into that's where I think Jeff's point now. And again, with none of these guys having the huge big potential that I was hearing about Dang. They're going to be stuck in that potential, he needs more minutes to develop, but we're not going to give you more minutes to develop. We need to win
exactly.
Games.
Sure. Yeah.
Drafting somebody to draft somebody.
Anyone, yes.
Drafting somebody to draft somebody is fine in a vacuum. If you want to tweet about it and get retweets and get YouTube video views, that's one thing. But it's all right, and insert whoever you want to insert, but Garland is the one. Insert Sexton / LeVert, whoever's your favorite. If you like Sexton, put him in there. I'll listen to you. If you like LeVert, put him in there. Fine. Lowry's going to be the 3, Mobley's the 4, and Allen is the 5. Kevin Love is the 6th man. Now the 14th pick is fighting with Okoro and let's just say Okoro for the 7th spot. And then one of Okoro or the 14th pick is the 8th spot.
Right.
Did we love JB Bickerstaff's rotation management down the stretch last year? Questionable.
No.
I don't but that's unfair. I think Rubio going down like absolutely screwed us. We went down 2 point guards immediately. We brought in Rondo, who he's not going to be here next year, and he really didn't do anything. I'm sorry, Logan. He really didn't end up being that guy that you wanted.
Oh, yeah. All right. He didn't. No, I made a whole video on him for nothing.
And LeVert is
Jalen Duren, number 13, guys. We're officially on the clock. Lots of options. Tari Eason, AJ Griffin, Oche Agbaji.
Lots of guys, indeed. I think
I'm thinking Kobe's going Branham.
I think Eason's very.
He might just go Branham, won't he?
Eason's. I feel like I might be sleeping on Eason because
me too.
I liked what I saw in Eason. I watched some highlights.
Check Twitter for takes.
He's got a good size to him. I think he's like 6'8". He's probably that small forward. I think his offensive game is lacking, which is not
AJ
great.
Griffin or Tari Eason from Mac Perry doesn't want Branham.
Yeah,
he was. I thought he also really wanted Agbaji.
No, Abaji's like down a little further on his list.
Tim Smith says, there goes that plan. Griffin, Branham, Agbaji is all there for the Cavs trade down season. Jalen Duren.
Eason is 6'8".
Yeah, I like that.
What is he?
I like that. I'd like a 3.
Markkanen's not going to be on this team forever.
I don't think he will. I honestly don't think he needs to really start. Oops.
Who, Markkanen?
Oops. Yeah.
Come on.
If you keep Sexton and LeVert, there's a good argument that Lowry does not start.
That's true.
I don't love that.
Dean Wade did a good job starting his place, I suppose.
That's what I'm saying. There's 14 playing over Dean Wade.
No.
Who we just qualified and offered to. It's goofy.
Maybe. I don't know, dude. That's why we should just trade it.
It's all ass. That's what people are saying. Trade back in the 20s. Just trade it. Even if you don't make a Beal move, just trade it for something else. I don't want to take a pick here. I don't. Mark Williams. Mike, this is a good shout.
Mark Williams?
Who is he? I've heard this name recently, but I've heard that he could be a sleeper for us.
I was I thought that was the pick. I was like, who?
I was like, that's what I was thinking.
Sexton trade when? Never.
It's never going to happen.
We're going to give him a 5-year
refresh button.
Just $120 million deal.
Just give him 5 years, $125 million, and be over with it.
Yeah, just rip it off.
Just rip it off.
The Pistons are acquiring Jalen Duren at number 13 in a trade.
Say our pick.
These are interesting.
So the Pistons got Jalen Duren. I wonder what the trade's going to be.
What is Duren? Is Duren
Hornets traded Jalen Duren to the Knicks. Okay, yeah, that's old.
We're gonna have to wait at least one pick after because we might trade it.
Yeah, I think we might need to wait a good time.
Because I don't even think teams do trade down. They just take a pick and they say, "Hey, who wants them?" If somebody behind us wanted them,
take Branham and package him to San Antonio.
DF, that's just the front office way in this city. Just give them everything guaranteed. You'll be fine.
Come on. Load, baby, load.
That's a weird comment from DF. Not in the sense that it's weird. I thought DF was all about that move.
He's being funny. No, he is. He's just being funny.
That's hilarious.
Because that is funny.
Absolutely.
NFL contracts are different, but
mad suspect.
Wait, guys, earlier in the day, people said Jalen Duren, if he was available at 11, that Detroit would trade what's-his-face, Jaden Ivey. And that's exactly what just happened. They apparently just acquired Jalen Duren, but I'm wondering who they traded. I don't know. That doesn't matter. It's Cavs season right now.
I'm abusing the refresh on Woj's
for Baker Mayfield. Traded Mobley and this first rounder for Baker Mayfield. Baker is not tall enough to start on an NBA team.
And the low-hanging fruit, Jeffrey.
He might be as tall as Colin Sexton.
That's facts.
Perfect.
Colin Sexton's
guys, this is the longest I've waited for a pick. This is the longest I've waited for a pick. Is there a trade?
This is the longest you've waited? I feel like the San Antonio pick.
Maybe it's just because AJ Griffin. No, it's not officially.
Malachi. What if we took Isaiah Mobley with this pick?
Then I would absolutely agree with what you said earlier.
10,000 schmeckles.
Come on.
100,000 schmeckles. Sorry.
Nothing.
Dude, Woj is slow. Woj was way better at this last year. Maybe he got reprimanded by his superiors. 28 people in the stream. Hit the like button. And make sure that you check out our other content. Even though we did no pre-draft prospects, whatever. We're getting into 14. We're on the clock right now. If you like Browns content too, if you like the Greg Newsome merch, it's not mine, it's his merch, but we do cover the Browns as well.
That's sick.
Come on, dude.
We're going to get to the Browns when we know who's going to be our starting quarterback for, all of the season. So we'll figure that out.
Cleveland will pick Ochai Agbaji, number 14.
That was my guess when we hopped on.
There it is. Welcome to the team, Agbaji. We'll see how long you last.
Yeah, you might only last a couple minutes. So Agbaji it is. We're going to wait around.
Take a look at his numbers again.
Let's head over to his stats. Let's head over here. 18.8 points a game. Serviceable rebounder. He is 6'8", so I don't know if that number is great.
Wait, he's 6'8"?
No, he's not.
6'5".
Okay. I was going
number
to
for 6'5".
be like a
Tari
little bit
Eason. I'm thinking. I was looking at Eason, who's 6'5".
A lot of people wanted AJ Griffin on Twitter.
Again, I feel like you're going to have like anyone who goes on Twitter after this pick, and if we keep the pick or whatnot, I feel like no matter what, you're going to have a hard time arguing this was the best pick. This was the best pick for whatever reasons it'll be. Like, it's just, what was the biggest need that we needed? We needed a 3-and-D wing. Well, we got the 3 part. I don't know about his defense.
This is ripe. This is ripe for the course with Altman because he's a terrible free throw shooter. He just is. He's not good. Like 70. Like he actually. I don't mind that. I don't mind seeing some improvement in his game because that's a pretty big leap from.
Knicks traded Kemba Walker to Detroit.
Damn. See, that's who I wanted as a backup point guard.
There's a 3-team trade: Charlotte, New York, and Detroit, waiting for more.
Interesting.
Did they really trade Jaden Ivey? I hope they didn't.
You know why I'm happy, or you know why I don't worry about the free throw thing too much with that, Jeff? It's just because. And I'm going to keep harping on this.
But we were pissed about free throws last year.
No, and you're right. My hope is that, like we've been talking about, he doesn't need the ball in his hand for more than 5 seconds. Hopefully he's never really driving to the hoop unless he's wide open. I'm just hoping this dude catches and shoots the 3-ball. That's quite literally all I'm interested in.
You know what? As far as him coming off the bench, I still don't like picking somebody there, which he might get traded. We're still here for, I'd say, probably 10 more minutes. 15 minutes maybe max. His splits year over year are good. His 3-point percentage went up like 3 percentage points every year.
He's going to go further now. So
it's 40%. If he could give you 40%, if he shoots 40% from the 3-point line, this is where we get into the gray area. Okoro is not playing if he shoots 40% from the NBA 3-point stripe. It's just how it's going to be because I don't care about Okoro's defense when he scores 2 points a game. I don't care.
Yeah. No.
DF likes it. DF approved. DF seal of approval.
We're going to
have – yeah, go ahead, Justin.
I don't know that there was going to be a pick for me outside of Dang that was going to be a love. And I don't know for you guys either if there was going to be a pick that you guys were going to love. I mean, did you guys have any that you were really going to love?
No. I was cool with moving.
Eason maybe –
Apparently, getting Agbaji actually makes our roster older. I don't know if that's a joke, but it could be.
I think he's
older. And it's the 10th anniversary. Wait.
He is older than Mobley, 100%.
100%.
Yeah, he's
older than Mobley, and he might be right there with Garland. And
Allen, probably.
He's already 22. Mobley just turned 21.
And Garland turned... Sorry, guys. I know I just keep talking over y'all.
Go ahead.
The Pistons are sending the Hornets the 2025 first-round pick from Milwaukee in the Duran trade. Sources tell ESPN. Detroit got that pick from Portland in the Jeremy Grant deal yesterday. Okay, so you're telling me the Pistons just got – they didn't have to lose Jaden Ivey. They have Ivy, Jalen Duren, who I kind of forgot who he was until I saw footage. I was like, oh, yeah, and Kemba Walker. And they gave
Chetty's a goner, Doctor.
Doctor, I'm sorry. This is what I said. It's 2.0 Chetty right there, man. Goner.
It really is, and he's probably a better rebounder. Garland is
ain't no point Chetty though.
Garland is January 26th, 2000, and Ochai is April 20th of 2000. He's 3 months younger than Garland.
Goodness. I mean, like, that's not going to be anything that worries me or nothing.
No.
This isn't our cornerstone we're drafting
No,
here. This
right.
is
No. He's a bench player. He's really a bench player.
What was his number in college?
His number?
Yeah, I'm interested.
As in jersey, he wore 30 in college.
Not a fan of that.
Tom Withers said the Cavaliers just got a great pick.
Wow, Tom Withers.
Thank you, Tom Withers.
It's great until JB has to figure out if he's good or not.
Tommy Schmock says, beautiful pick, Cavs.
Shout out Tommy Schmock.
In Agbaji, Cavs get player with championship pedigree. Well, I mean, okay, he won one national championship. The NBA is different. I don't know. Hopefully he takes all of Okoro's. Yes, Ricky.
Now the roster is like, oh my gosh, though. The roster is already.
What are we going to do with those 3 picks now? Oh, God, we're going to trade back in.
Agbaji's player comp is Quentin Grimes, so take that for what you will. He's a shooter for the Knicks, right? Wasn't Grimes with the Knicks?
You know what? Good. I'll make my copies. He's poor man's Harrison Barnes.
If he's poor man's Harrison Barnes, that's brutal.
2016 finals Harrison Barnes?
16 Harrison Barnes is one of the biggest reasons the Cavs had to have a ring, because he was terrible.
Yeah.
I think the Knicks are truly just imploding, is what I'm saying.
Yeah, they have been for like
we said that.
They have been since like Christmas.
They did not get Jaden Ivey in return. The Pistons are about to be good. I don't care what you say. Next 3 years, Pistons will be fighting for the Eastern Conference Finals. I said it.
The Warriors team this year just ran out Jordan Poole as like Harrison Barnes' role. That was like the huge difference. And Kevon Looney was like basically Andrew Bogut.
Smart move by Cavs to stick with their policy of no players between 6'6" and 6'9".
That is so true, though.
We refuse to get a quality 3.
No, we have no idea.
Lowry's not a 3. I like him. I like our lineup. Yes, I like Larry Markkinen. He's not a 3.
Lowry is actually like a 2.
I'm gonna say something.
Go ahead.
Outrageous.
I'm gonna clip it and tweet it to our page later. So
I'm gonna say Agbaji, come start of the season, is the starting 2.
And Sexton's gone.
Sexton's gone. No Levert's the first guy off the bench.
No way. I will heavily refute that.
If we're trading Sexton, we're going to need some hell of a player at the 2 instead.
There's no. I would say Sexton is. I would even say Sexton is the 2 before this cat.
I'm gonna stick with it for now.
Okay, I respect that though. I respect that. Now it's like okay. Now if you told me that we packaged LeVert and Lowry with some other picks tonight but there's Murray. No 3. There's no Murray's not a 3 though.
Oh no! I'm sorry.
I just don't know. There's no 3s. Like that's the issue. Is 3 just the most scarce position in the league?
Andrew Wiggins.
Facts. Yes. Oh, that's fine. That's great. Agbaji at the 2. We'll trade LeVert, Okoro. But Golden State isn't doing that. Golden State doesn't need it.
You know what I would do for Golden State? I tried to get Kuminga off them.
Okay, at the end of the day, they're comparing Agbaji to Danny Green. And that's what we needed was a 3-and-D guy. And they keep saying wing, but it seems like nowadays, I mean, the NBA is getting shorter, and we see a lot of guys who are 6'5", playing small forward. Like I think you see it with Sadiq Bey in Detroit. Well, he's like 6'6". You see it with Okoro at times here. I don't consider him a wing, and that's what throws me off a little bit. Unless
I've always considered the wing to be the 3.
What makes me nervous about a Danny Green comp is that I don't rate Danny Green as like the most athletic dude in the world.
Yeah,
and I don't
need him to be athletic. I need him to shoot the 3 ball.
Shoot the piss out of the ball and play defense.
I would prefer him to be out. I would prefer a top half of the first round draft. I would prefer a lottery pick to be an athlete.
I'm going to say this, Jeff, and it's going to piss you off. Isaac Okoro is athletic. I don't know that that's anything good to brag about, though.
You got me. Fast.
but
is Danny Green like so? I mean, yeah, Danny Green's a good comp. That's fine.
I'm good with that comp. I like it better than my poor man's Harrison
Jay Crowder comp.
Ew, that's gross.
Like insinuating he's physical on defense, or just what are these offensive comps suck?
Yeah, comps suck. Comps do suck.
At the end of the day, we had to get a 3-and-D wing. So
I just don't know anything about
he fits the mold. I don't know.
At the end of the day, though,
highlights, though. I watched some highlights today, and he looks good.
at the end of the day, was moving for like who did I want at the deadline last year? Who he ended up in Los Angeles, and it wasn't Ben McLemore, the other guy. He was from Portland. Portland had him.
Oh, you wanted Gary
CJ
Trent
McCollum.
Jr.?
No,
Gary
no,
Trent
no,
Jr.?
no.
Who ended
Josh
up in
Hart?
Toronto?
He was undrafted.
Oh.
I don't remember. I think he was undrafted. I don't remember his name. But
One more time, you said he's from where?
Portland had him at the beginning of the year, and I swear they traded him to the Clippers.
Oh, the defensive guy, right?
Oh, Norman Powell?
No.
Robert Covington?
Robert Covington.
Rocco.
Rocco. I couldn't think. I was thinking it was 4 letters, but I couldn't think of it. Like, is this guy Rocco? Because if he is, I might be in for that.
Who knows? I mean, like, we don't know enough about this kid. Probably, maybe we'll do like a
Atlanta
deep dive or something on him. But
Thanks, Chad. Norm Powell is a good shout
AJ
too.
Griffin.
Yeah, we're gonna get content out about this guy if he remains on the roster the rest of the night. And now that we know who he is, we get into it. We can get shorts out. Hit subscribe. Hit the like button. Slap that bell for notifications. Go down below and hit our BetUS link and use the promo code JOIN125. That's JOIN125. And yeah, start gambling on how many wins the Cavs are gonna have. The over/under number is probably close to be getting released.
Yeah, I'm saying 47 wins.
47. Do you think that's what we're going to win, or do you think that's what the line's going to be?
Oh, I don't know. I think that's what we're going to win. That's just my personal opinion. Use that for what you will.
So this kid, with him being 6'5" and everything, and being, the quintessential 3-point shooter on this team, spot up 3-point shooter, with everything that we've seen today in the draft and what we talked about with Sexton earlier, has the odds of him not returning increased with this pick?
I would say the odds of him returning have increased, not because of this pick, but because of what people did in front of us.
Very fair, very fair. Logan?
I don't know. Dude.
Listen, I listed it at the top of the show. I think we have 10 people now on the roster that are going to be regular season players. Hopefully this dude is your 7th or 8th guy and can help you in the playoffs and whatnot. But, you got the starting 5. Got Kevin Love, and God, I think hopefully now it's going to be Abaji coming off the bench before Okoro. But
I think the Cavs have to make a decision on Jetty and maybe like Lamar Stevens. I mean, I don't know. I think they have to make a decision. They got to cut somebody. I hate to let anybody go, but I think we saw it in the playoffs or in our play-in game.
Windler is not making this roster.
He shouldn't, but he might. But like what I'm saying is,
Windler's gone.
No way.
What I'm saying is we can't. Last year, when you get to the playoffs, you need to have 8 guys, sometimes even 7. I think we only played 7 against Atlanta, and that was
7 is a lot.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying is I don't think we were prepared for the playoffs because we didn't realize that's kind of what you have to do in the playoffs. We need to establish the guys. So our bench pieces, you got to go trade Chetty.
They have to trade us. They have to trade somebody.
They got to get rid of maybe 2.
Not going to work.
Maybe 2 people.
Maybe he's going to look down the line and Kobe Altman is going to say, "Hey, I have this egregiously bad contract for Kevin Love. You have to play him. He's $28 million. He's your only vet."
Right.
I'm actually, I think the Kevin Love contract's egregious. You'll hear me up and down the street saying that, but it's like we kind of need him to play.
Yeah.
He's the
outside
vet.
of the contract being bad, he was very good last year.
Yeah, he was good. I mean, he disappears in the play-in, like typical. Like, of course he was going to do that. He played good in the Brooklyn game. Let me stop being so over exaggerating, but he disappears in the Atlanta game at home. He does. Whatever. That was not even his fault, all of it. That was JB. I don't even think he played. But it's like now JB's looking down the line, and people just don't think about this when they just want a new name in town so they could maybe get their jersey, and we're going to have him for 4 years. And I get it. We're Cleveland fans. People aren't around for very long. I understand. I get it. But it's like JB's mind is just 1,000 miles an hour now because he has to pick between Jetty, Agbaji, and Okoro. How is he making a decision?
I don't know. I will say to you guys, for what it's worth, I want to give you guys this, and then I probably actually need to hop off here, unfortunately, until we get news. But
I think we could wrap up here.
Agbaji, kicked it into a new gear in his final 3 games of the NCAA tournament. Agbaji scored 17 points per game on 62% shooting from the field, 70% from deep in the Elite 8, Final 4, and National Championship to guide the Jayhawks to a title, according to ESPN Stats and Info. That's what I like to see.
Yeah,
that's what I like to see. That's a good thing to see.
Yeah, hey, if he wants to step up and be great, it's all on him. If he wants to win the starting 2 job, or if they want to totally reconstruct the roster and tell Lowry he's coming off the bench, which is going to be extremely difficult for them to swing, in my opinion, that's fine. But it's like you're going to have to show out in the summer league, most importantly, and that don't even really mean a whole lot. Mobley,
I do like the summer league though.
I love the summer league too. I actually would like to go to the summer league. It's in Las Vegas. It's in Las Vegas.
You guys want to go with Vegas trip?
I'm down. But like Mobley was very mid in the summer league. He was fine guard to play with. Yeah. It's all about roster composition, who you play with. And there were some other guys in the summer league who didn't make the roster who I thought played particularly well.
He was mid, but he was his best player that he was playing with was Lamar Stevens.
Yeah,
Jalen Hands
he did not have a point guard. He did not have a point guard.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. Grain of salt with the summer league.
I think the interesting thing is like it's not about how well you actually do in the summer league. It's what you show. And what I saw from Evan Mobley in that summer league, I told Jeff, I remember this vividly when I was watching the summer league. I was like, Jeff, although this kid isn't knocking these shots down, he is taking those threes and he is taking those jumpers. And I love that. I love that he has the confidence to do that. And he came into the season and I think he maybe blew us. Maybe I had lower expectations. He blew me out of the water for how well he shot from 3 and how well he shot from about 18 feet out. Mm-hmm. And that's the biggest thing. That's what I'll be looking for with Agbaji. Maybe he'll show me something different compared than his 3-point shooting that will pique my interest. But that's like, I do love the summer league for that reason, to watch developmental players.
That's where he's got to stay in his lane though, because like think about JB. Like let's say JB takes 4 starters out and leaves Mobley out there, and Agbaji's taking shots for Mobley. I'm going to start getting angry. Like I just don't know how else to say it. Like I need Mobley getting the shots.
We need more than 2 players to touch the ball.
We don't though. We needed Garland and Rubio last year to have a really good success.
Listen, I will die in the hill that Rubio is far more important than getting Colin Sexton.
How do you bring Rubio back now?
That's true. Get rid of Chetty. Chetty should be a goner.
Get rid of Sexton.
Get rid of Sexton.
People forget that if we get rid of Sexton, it's just saving us money too. Like there's more factors to it.
Should double up on a trade LeVert and Okoro, or LeVert and Markkanen for someone, and then re-sign Rubio and get someone else.
You're putting a lot of faith in this kid already with all those movements. Yeah, I still think LeVert is the starting 2. But that's just me.
I'm still on the.
You're not a LeVert fan. I get it.
Yeah.
Do you guys want to hear Bleacher Report's thing about?
Agbaji? You can't play it on like the volume.
I know. I'm gonna read it.
Yeah, go for
Agbaji joined Mikal Bridges as the only NCAA players to finish with 100 threes and 35 dunks in one season. I like the sound of that. Knock down threes and get to the rim. I like that. Okay. He won't be counted on for creation, but he'll come off as a plug-and-play rookie for his ability to catch and shoot, finish at the rim, and defend both wing spots. Sounds pretty good to me, guys. Basically, he'll be filling Jetty's role, but better, is what it sounds like to me.
I do like it.
Justin,
that's literally based off writing stuff.
Justin brought that up. He's Jetty 2.0, and you probably I don't know what his contract looks like, but I was attacked up and down the boulevard last year for saying Jetty was overpaid. Bebo in the chat.
He is.
Bebo, welcome back.
His opinion definitely better than Okoro. So here's the thing.
Guys, I might need to jump off. I'm really sorry.
I think
we're good. We're good. Let's wrap it up. Bebo, everybody, Dr. No, Ricky, everybody in the chat, all the 30 of you guys, appreciate it.
Love it. Thank you guys so much.
Appreciate y'all coming in. Go Cavs. Agbaji season. Let's go.
We'll have more content out on them at a further date. Justin,
we'll
Logan.
We'll see about the other picks. We'll comment on them at a later date.
Right. if something happens, we'll catch you guys on the flip side.
Thank
Boys,
you all for being here for an hour and 45 minutes. Too,
I know, dude. I'm
Crazy.
so hungry.
Crazy.
I'm making dinner right now.
That's
Crazy.
probably one of our longer streams that we've
Yep.
had, and you
Yep.
know, to have a lot of people through it all. Thank you very much. After not a long hiatus, but a hiatus nonetheless.
Boys, it was great doing it. Cavs Encapsulated crew.
We'll see you guys soon. Yeah.
See you guys
Hakakbaji.
next time. Make sure you subscribe. It's been Cavs Encapsulated. Go Cavs. Wine and gold. Winner, winner, chicken dinner. On the horizon. Peace.
All of them.